Hello, all. Welcome back to Yes Girl University, um, where, here we simply just say yes. Yes to ourselves. I say yes to me by putting myself on my list, by pursuing my desires, my dreams, putting my health and wellness ahead of anything else and my peace. So that's what Yes Girl University is about. It's just about saying yes to our overall health and well being and being proactive and intentional in doing so. So I'm coming, this is the third video in a nutrition series that I wanted to talk about. I am going to be starting a physical challenge, exercise challenge. Again, I'm not sure it's going to be next week or the week after because I want to do this first because I want to set the stage before we get to the physical part. I want to set the tone of emphasizing the importance of nutrition for overall health. Um, if you're planned, I'm on a weight loss and wellness journey. So, nutrition plays the biggest role in that. And it really just plays the biggest role in whatever we're trying to do. Um, because our body needs the right nutrients, not just physical movement, but what we put in to fuel itself. The previous videos I talked about metabolism, calories in, calories out, and then I talked about macros, so proteins, fats, and carbs are the three main sources that our body use as energy. Um, so in this video, we're going to do what I call a food map. And basically, it's going to help me to determine my BMR, which is my basal metabolic rate. And what that is the amount of calories I burn daily just to function, literally just to be alive. Brain, lungs, heart pumping, stuff like that. Just bodily functions, just pretty much existing and just having a normal day with no extra like activity. And then once I determine my BMR, then I'm going to determine my TDEE, which is my total daily energy expenditure. So that's going to help me determine the amount of calories that I need to maintain not just my BMR, my basic functions, but also the activity I do. So like exercising, biking, any extra playing activity that I do. And then I'm going to do kind of like a map of just an example. And in this equation that I'm going to do and show you, I'm using myself as an example. And this equation, I'm sure you can Google it and figure this out. Like if you don't want to like work all these numbers or whatever, but I'm sure you can Google it just because it's easier. But just for purposes, of this video, I'm going to use these equations. And then from there, again, I'm going to use myself an example and say I wanted to lose 20 pounds within like a couple of months, what that would look like. So determining my calorie deficit in order to achieve that weight loss within that amount of time. Um, and then from there, we'll break down macros. So once I determine my calorie deficit, then I'll determine how much many grams and calories of protein, carbs, and fat will fit into that number, that calorie daily intake number. So I am going to start with this equation. And again, I'm just using myself. This is, again, just an example. Um, so in this equation, I need to have my weight in in kilograms. I'm sorry, my height in centimeters, my age, and then my activity level. So the scale for the activity level, it ranges from 1.2 to 1.9. So somewhere in that range is the number that I will use. For me, it is 1.55. So 1.2 means you're sedentary. 1.375 means you're lightly active. So like 1 to 2 days. 1.55 means you're moderately active, which is 3 to 5 days of activity. 1.75, you're very active, so 6 or 7 days. 1.9 is you're like extra active. So anything from that and higher, basically, you're like, professional athlete level. So again, my activity level that I'm going to use in this equation is going to be 1.55, moderately active. So, because I do work out right now, I'm at 4 to 5 days a week. So, I have to take my weight in kilograms. So, I'm going to use 260 because that was the last thing I was on the scale. In kilograms, that is 117.935. I'm going to times that number by 9.99. Then I'm going to add my height in centimeters, which is 162.56, and then times that number by 6.25. From there, I'm going to subtract my age. I will be 48 in a couple months, so I just put 48. And then I'll take that number and times it by 4.92. That gives me my BMR, my basal metabolic rate, which comes up to 1,958. I don't know if you can see that, if that's just too bright or whatever. But that gives me my BMR of 1,958 calories. That's how many calories I need, again, just to function daily. Okay, so to determine my total daily expenditure, so my BMR plus what I use and what I need for extra activity like exercising and stuff like that. I take my BMR, again, 1,958. I times that by that activity level. Again, I'm going with 1.55 because I am moderately active. And then I end up with 3,034 calories. So 3,034 calories is what I use approximately to get through my daily functions, brain, heart pumping, exercising, all of that. So all that together comes up to 3,034 calories approximately, burned. That's again for me. So having that number at 334, if I ate that every day, that's just going to help me to maintain. It's just going to keep me where I am. It's going to be what I need to just stay 265s, exercise moderately, and function. So in this next section, I'm going to determine, say, I want to lose 20 pounds. And this, again, I am using myself. I am using a specific time frame. I must say, and I have to say, weight is different. Weight loss for everybody looks different. I'm giving you a time frame as an example, but it doesn't count for everything. It doesn't count for hormonal changes. It doesn't count for muscle gain and, intake and all of that, bloating. It doesn't account for any of that. And it's just a time frame, again, just for this equation. For some people, it could most likely take longer, or some people can do it sooner. I don't know. This is, again, it's just an example that I'm using because I needed some numbers to do this equation. So, say I want to lose 20 pounds within like a couple months. I need to determine how many calories I need to burn, what a calorie deficit. So, in this equation, I'm going to take 20 pounds and I'm going to times that by 3,500. So, 1 pound equals 3,500 calories. So, in order to lose 1 pound, we need to burn 3,500 calories. So we take that 20 pounds times the 3,500, that gives us 70,000 calories. So to lose 20 pounds, I need to burn a total of 70,000 calories. So again, if I give myself a time frame of a couple months, how much weight do I need to lose weekly? How many calories do I need to burn weekly in order to meet that time frame? And again, it's not set in stone. It's not like, oh, you said no. People lose weight differently. There's other factors. This, again, is an example I'm using myself. So I take my 260, I times that by 1%. So that tells me I need to burn 2.6 pounds weekly in order to meet that 20-pound weight loss within a couple of months. So I need to burn a total of 9,100 calories per week. What does that mean daily? So 9,100 divided by 7 days gives me 1,300 calories. So that is my deficit. I need to subtract 1,300 calories from my total daily expenditure of 3,034. So, and that's a lot to cut. You can cut a minimum of, a lot of people say 500, and I agree with that, to have a steady weight loss. But again, this is example, just using myself. Anyways, so if I take that 1,300 from the 3,034, that gives me 1,734 calories. So that means in order to lose this 2.6 pounds a week within a couple of months, so we're talking about 8 to 10 weeks, somewhere in there, 2.5 months, my daily intake needs to be 1,734 calories. Again, that puts me in a 1,300 calorie deficit from that 3,034 daily expenditure number. So again, the 3,034 is what I would intake on a daily now, just to maintain bodily function, my weight, everything stays the same. Minus the 1,300 puts me in a deficit because my goal is to lose weight. And I will say again, this is just an example within a certain time frame, using myself as an example. I know personally it would take me probably longer than 8 to 10 weeks to lose this 20 pounds, just based on what I have going on with my body changes right now. So again, just an example for this video's sake. So within that 1,734 calories, that's my daily intake for a 20-pound weight loss. What do my macros look like? Again, macros are our proteins, our fat, and carbs. Those are the three sources that our body use as energy. So I want to make sure that I'm having balance, enough protein, enough fats, enough carbs to give my body balance and what it needs to function and to achieve this goal. So what does that look like? So we'll start with protein. So with protein, we're going to start with my weight, just using myself. In kilograms, it was 117.935. We're going to times that by 1.6. So what is that 1.6? 1.6, there's a protein intake scale. And the scale starts at 0.8, sedentary, 1.2 to 1.7, active, 1.6 to 2.3 for muscle gain and fat loss. So I put myself at a 1.6 because I am active, and it puts me right at the beginning of the scale to lose fat and gain muscle. So I take that. Again, my weight, 260 pounds in kilograms, is 117.935 times my protein intake of 1.6. That gives me 188 grams of protein a day. That's what I need to intake. According to, again, this, we times that by 4, and we get 754 calories. So my protein intake within that 1,734 daily intake, which includes my deficit, 754 of those calories come from protein. I hope that makes sense. Let's move on to fat. So my fat intake, I take my daily calorie intake, which includes my deficit, that 1,734. I times that by the daily recommended fat intake, and that ranges from 20 to 35% a day of your total daily intake. I went with the lowest number of 20% fat. That gives me 38 grams daily of fat that I should be intaking, which comes out to 346 calories. So out of that 1734, 346 of those calories go to my fat intake. Okay? Let's move on to carbs. So we determine the carbs, whatever is left over from our protein and fat, whatever's left over, that gives us the amount of carbs that we should intake within, again, that 1,734 calorie daily intake. So we take the 1,734, we already minus 754 for protein, 346 for fat. That left us with 634 um, 634 calories left to carbs. So, and if we add all those numbers together, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know. Oh, it's a little bright. But right here, if you have protein, 754 calories, fat, 346 calories, plus carbs is 634 calories. Right here, you get 1,734 calories. So that is, again, my daily caloric intake with my deficit, and the thought of, with the intention of trying to lose 20 pounds within, I believe it's somewhere between 8 and 10 weeks. So a specific amount of time. Again, I'm using myself. I'm going to keep saying that. Weight loss is different for everybody. There are many different factors to weight loss. This is all just an example that I use, and you can do something like this to help you determine your food map. So what do you need to function? What is your activity level? How much weight you want to lose? And how many macros fit into your calorie deficit. So I wanted to bring that forth along in this nutrition thing, because some people do count macros. It's not something that I've gotten into yet. Like, I am still like learning a lot in this journey, and learning that it changes. So my approach to weight loss and building and stuff, as I age, as my body changes, we have to change strategies sometimes. We have to, readjust some things. So I've been at my weight within this 250, 260 range for a couple of years now. So I am really, this is my new starting point. My first starting point was 385 pounds, and I'm now down to this point, and I've been at this point. So now my new starting point is 260 pounds. I would like to lose, at the highest right now, I'm saying 50 pounds. But at the minimum, literally another 30 pounds. And that does still keep me in the 200s. And it's my personal preference. I like being a plus size, curvy individual. I love my curves. I love being plus size. I just want to be healthy. So it's somewhere, again, between 30, 50 pounds. Me personally, according to the BMI scale, I should be 123 pounds. There is no world or universe or whatever that I could see myself at 123 pounds. But according to the BMI scale, which BMI, it just goes by your height and weight. And so it doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell you body composition. And I really think that that's what we should focus on. So in the beginning, I was just about weight loss, getting the fat off, because I was 385 pounds. Um, and then as I lost, like over 100 pounds, then it became about body recomp. So building muscle, losing fat and building muscle at the same time. And again, like this example, use 20 pounds weight loss. But again, weight loss could be, you could be losing not only fat, but also muscle and bone. Um, and especially for somebody of my age and going through this perimenopause, menopausal age, as a woman, we lose so much of our muscle mass and our bone mass, as we progress. And it's important that we maintain that. So in doing that, we need to make sure we're eating enough protein, having balance in our nutrients, and moving our bodies, and not just moving our bodies like walking on the treadmill for an hour or cycling or any of that. Like, that is good for cardiovascular health. But we need to build muscle. We need to be lifting and pulling and pushing weight and heavy, not like the little 2, 3, 5 pounds. I mean, if that's where you started, but you want to have a progressive overload to build and retain our bone and our muscle, and we need to have some impact, letting those our feet impact the ground. That'll help with bone density. So that's probably going to be a whole nother video once we get into the physical challenge. But I'm just saying again, for me, that has been my focus, is body recomposition, building that muscle and losing fat. So and the scale may not change. If I lose a pound of fat and I gain a pound of muscle, that scale is not going to move, but I will lose girth because muscle is more dense than fat. So I'm going to appear leaner, and not just leaner, but I'm going to be stronger. And so that for me is the goal. So I pushed it hard. I lift. I just progressed in my dumbbells. Back to 15 and 20 pounders, and that's me coming back off from my hysterectomy, where I wasn't able to work out for 8 weeks, so I had to start over. So now I'm progressing, and I can see that, and I can feel that. So I'm excited to just be back in it 100%, and work towards that goal again, our body recomposition. But yeah, so the physical challenge I have coming up, it's a self-discipline challenge. You can go at your own pace if you want to determine your daily intake. If your goal is to lose some weight, you can determine, your calorie deficit. Again, you can Google it. I believe they have scales online that you just put in your numbers and it'll just give it to you. So it just gives you a roadmap, again, a food map of not just intake, calories in, calories out, but if you want to balance your macros, you could figure that out too. And yeah, so we can do this thing. It's going to be um, a physical challenge of meeting at least 6,000 steps a day. I'm at 6,000 right now for my goal, just because I'm at home most of the time. I don't get out a lot. So me getting in 6,000 steps just in my apartment, around my apartment or whatever, it's a challenge, but I've been meeting it for the most part, not on the weekends, but I've been meeting it. So it makes me, I look at my pedometer and I'm like, oh, okay, let me get 500 steps in. So it helps me to get up and get my body moving throughout the day, and not get stuck just sitting all day. I work out in the mornings. I do heavy, as heavy as I can, at home. I'm going to add some stretching and stuff in there because Lord knows I need it. But it's going to be self-guided, and it's about discipline, just learning discipline and accountability. We're going to, check in and just say, hey, easy, done for the day, whatever. Just however, whatever I just know we have to start somewhere. We all have to start somewhere, and it's hard to start on our own sometimes. So maybe creating a platform where people can just start and just do what you can. You don't have to do everything at one time. If you want to just say, I want to start with meeting my step goal. Okay, meet your step goal. If you want to say, I want to start by just bettering my nutrition. Okay, let's better our nutrition. If you want to start by, starting to lift weights, get you some hand weights or some resistance bands, or, something that's going to, challenge you. You can start there. Or you can just jump right in and try to do it all at one time, but do it the best you can. And if you fall off, don't beat yourself up about it, because you're still learning. I'm still learning, forever learning. Hint, university part of Yes Girl. It's about education and learning what's going to work for you. So that will be a 4-week challenge. Um, so yeah, I will be putting that out there soon. But again, I just wanted to really discuss nutrition. Nutrition is the most important part, especially in weight loss. If you want to lose weight, you cannot give your body a bunch of junk. You cannot exercise 7 days a week and give your body junk and think that you're going to have a successful weight loss. You can't starve yourself. Like, we need to eat. Our body needs protein, carbs, and fat in order to function. It utilizes those three things for different functionalities in our bodies. So we can't completely deprive ourselves of one or the other. There needs to be a balance. So that's what this video is about. The next video, I really want to get into nutrition label reading. I'm still learning that. It's like I think I'm making it harder than what it is. Um, if that's not the next video, then it'll be about tracking. We'll talk about tracking, which those I kind of feel go hand in hand. I don't know, but this one was about mapping out your calorie intake and whatever goal you want to set for yourself. And if you're watching, thank you so much for your support. Again, I really am doing this for myself, but I desire to share. And if it helps you, then let's do this thing together. It does not hurt to have someone in this journey moving in the same direction as you who understands. And if they don't understand, they'll try to. We could be sympathetic toward each other, but push and motivate each other at the same time. So again, that is Food Map. Calories in, calories out, deficit, and macros. So you guys have a great, beautiful day, and we're going to keep on pushing, and we're going to keep doing this thing. God bless. Say yes to you.